everybody, to another episode of the Buckeye Blitz podcast. I'm your host, Chad Stryker. Thanks for taking some time today. As you may have noticed, I'm still in the process of moving and unpacking, so my office looks a little disheveled, so apologies about the background, but that's where we are in this season of life. Thanks for taking some time to hear me out today. So I just wanted to do a recap of what I saw live against Penn State. So offensively, I thought they graded out at a B+. Pretty good game all around. No complaints from me for the most part. McCord still has room to improve. His feet weren't set. I don't know if his ankle is bothering him. It's something I actually asked about with one of the beat reporters to see if they could ask Coach Day today, but they didn't ask it. So, room to improve, better ball placement. You know, if he hits Tate down the seam in his hands, it's probably a touchdown. The wide receiver screen to Marv, if he hits that, it's probably a touchdown, if not a huge gain. So, ball placement still a thing, but overall, you know, he's young. 7th start as the starter. Pretty much identical path to what C.J. Stroud had. So like the completions, the percentage, the way that everything's looking and working, and you know, a lot. It's really easy to remember C.J. Stroud last year and how accurate he was, but if you go back to 2021, you know, not as much. So he can sling it. He did good. We won the football game. That's what matters. And it's okay, and I've said this from the jump, if you followed me for any time, that our defense leads this team, you know, so something that I will clearly state for those of you in the back, defense travels. An elite championship defense travels. So it can go on the road and win you a football game. It's okay. We're used to having to outscore people, and I think our brains since 2019 have been like scrambled and put back into our heads again or something, because we get frustrated at not scoring 50. It's okay to not score 50. This team is closer to the 2021 Georgia team than it is the 2019 Ohio State team. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. This team is good. The defense is elite, but we'll stick with offense for right now. Offensive line, I thought, looked good. I like that they're finally doing gap scheme and counter scheme runs up the middle. This offensive line is not full of Paris Johnsons to do that elite stretch run. They just don't have those guys. So they're making it work with what they do have, which is what I was hoping Justin Fry would bring to the table anyways. Because I like the gap scheme better. I think it just works better for the type of backs we have too. You know, it was a bummer that Trey didn't play. They didn't have to have him. Would have been nice to have him. I don't understand why Dallin Hayden didn't play unless he's dinged and I don't know it. Super weird. The answer from Ryan Day was not great. I didn't like it, to be honest. Just saying like, hey, that was up to Tony Alford. Okay. Have a conversation with Tony Alford and ask why Dallin Hayden didn't get any run. I don't know. It's really weird. I'm not nearly as concerned about our run blocking after Saturday. I do want them to continue to gel, get better, get their footing. I would like to see Hinsman and Matthew Jones and Donovan Jackson in those double teams get off a little quicker and get up to the second level. Hinsman is the number one priority there, though. He has to get off those double teams faster. Matthew Jones played a really, really good game. Might even be his best game. Same with Donovan Jackson. This was Donovan Jackson's best game this year. Fryer played well. I still have some concerns about him when it comes to the speed rush. It is what it is at this point. Like, his kick step is what it is at this point. You know, he's okay. He's okay. Josh Simmons is like 75-25 for me. I think he did some really, really good things and looked really good in run blocking and some of the pass blocking, and sometimes I don't know what he was doing. So he's getting better. He's played well enough. That's my key. sentence right there is well enough. And he will get better, and he is getting better. I thought overall the line itself, just in general from the last 2 weeks, looks much improved. Skill position, Marv was 44% of our offense, which is clear that we really, really missed Emeka Egbuka, but I'm glad it sounds like he'll be back this week. Cade Stover, absolutely great game catching the football. Made a couple huge plays, including like mossing a guy down the middle. His pass blocking was better. His run blocking was okay. There was definitely a play down on the goal line where he was late getting to the guy, crashing down on the end. I just don't think they accounted for the corner crashing in like that. So we'll see. But I really think it's key now that we know it's Marvin and Emeka and Cade. They need a third option at wide receiver. Fleming's not getting separation. Xavier Johnson's not getting separation. Tate is doing okay. And maybe it will be Carnell Tate down the stretch that gets the most run. But they have to get separation, and they have to make the catches. And Xavier dropped one. Fleming seems like he's just falling down whenever anybody touches him. I know he's in there because he can block really well. I get it. He's probably our best perimeter blocking wide receiver. That said, really, really good game out of Marvin Harrison Jr. What more can you say about the kid? Like, he does it all. He makes this offense, go from a Honda to a Cadillac, or in Gus Johnson's words, a Maserati. Running backs, Trainum and Mayan were okay. I would have liked to seen Dallin Hayden in the game, like I mentioned. They had a nice run, a succession of runs in the second quarter. I thought Mayan looks like he's starting to hit his stride, looks like he's starting to get in shape, looks like everything's starting to focus back in for the bowling ball that he is. So I think it's a nice change of pace. Not sure what's going on with Chip Trainum. I don't know if it was the big hit he took or if he's just not used to taking that, taking all those reps. He's, because he played at linebacker and then moved back and forth. I don't know. It just seemed like this week he just seemed off. Defense, what can you say? That is elite championship caliber defense. All the Knowles questions and slander, you need to stop now. If you haven't already, these guys are playing fast. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder, and I'm here for it. The silver bullets are back, baby, and they hammered those guys. Fast, aggressive, downhill, smacking people in the mouth, and nobody was getting open from a wide receiver or really even a tight end except for a busted coverage. JTT played elite when it mattered most. He made a first-round tackle look like a little wuss. And I still think, and I've said it for a long time, that flipping JTT over to the wide defensive end, weak side defensive end, and playing Sawyer or Curry or Jackson at strong side defensive end, JTT just plays better over there. He, like last year's Penn State game, this year, last game, finally, it seems like finally that has sunk in, that he, it's almost like he gets a breather over there, like the right tackle is just not as good or something. Shocker. Gosh, if you listen to my podcast for any length of time, I've been screaming that for a year. On the last drive, JTT bullied the left tackle right into Aller. That the D line. What can you say about Tyleik Williams and Mike Hall? Man, Tyleik Williams just playing out of his mind. He's going to get a tree in Buckeye Grove. I mean, he absolutely deserves it. He's playing well. Hancock is playing well. He's playing at an All-American level in the secondary. He won't get the run because he's playing nickel and outside corner, but next year, look out. Like, this is what people were talking about in the spring of last year, how good he is, that class of 2021. I'm kind of moving on to the linebackers. I'm kind of on team Cody Simon. He's actually playing better than Steel Chambers and probably deserves to start at this point. Ransom and Styles both had a great game. Sonny Styles made a couple huge plays. Both those guys just are different makers in the back end. I was sorry to see Jihad Carter get rolled up on special teams because I really feel like that does impact the depth at safety. But how about Jermaine Matthews? He's not a safety, but just stepping in for with Burke being out. Felt like Tommy Eichenberg kind of disappeared, but he does a great job calling the defense. It's just been kind of one of those things where he has a great game and then he's kind of quiet. But in a realm of like things that I would say mean something, Jim Knowles deserves a ton of credit. And this may have been his best game so far, like logistically and how he played them, maybe even right up there with Notre Dame. Ohio State has now 2 top 10 wins on their resume. And in the realm of things that we've wanted them to control and they needed to control, they got off the field on third downs. I think, what was Penn State, like 1 of 20 on third downs or something like that. So great job. Fantastic. Now, I've had some people asking me to comment on the University of Michigan stuff and the alleged sign stealing and everything. I'll give you these thoughts. The NCAA did a lot more with a lot less when it came to Jim Tressel and the tattoos and the gold pants and so on and so forth. And if this all comes out to be true, and I've been told that there's more information coming out in the next 72 hours, and all signs point to this, I think what you're looking at is a lack of institutional control is probably what the NCAA is looking at, not just these like weird little subsection bylaw things for the sign stealing or, electronic recording of signs ahead of the game. It's going to be, for Harbaugh, it's going to be lack of institutional control, which is a pretty big deal. My question is, do they do anything about it this year, or is it next year and Jim's just like, I'm out, I'm going to go coach with my brother in the NFL or something, and the NCAA doesn't do anything to him, but they do something to UM. So that's the questions on my mind. I'm not ready to make a definitive statement. Like, I'm having fun on Twitter. If you guys haven't noticed, like, I'm having fun on Twitter with this because if they did cheat and if they did steal signs and if they did know what was coming, I expect all of the wins to be vacated from the last 2 years. I expect probably a bowl ban for at least 3 years, scholarship reductions. It's going to be a pretty heavily enforced thing, especially if it is lack of institutional control. And it's going to be kind of like when they went and they hired Rich Rod, because it's going to set the program back quite a ways. Now, that's saying all of this is true. I don't know if it is. It certainly seems like it is. There is, some serious smoke to all this. So we'll wait and see. It sounds like my understanding is maybe more information out before Friday at 5 and in time for game day on Saturday. Now, Michigan doesn't play. They are on a bye week, so I don't know if that helps them erase all of the videos and phones that they have. Who knows? But, it will all play out. So, again, sorry about the background. Still getting adjusted here. But that's going to do it for me today. See you on Friday for Buckeye Friday. As we always preview the upcoming games, I'll be previewing Wisconsin in Madison, which it sounds like it's going to be rainy and kind of chilly, so it should be interesting. I hope the Bucks can run the football, and I'm sure the defense will be great. And until then, you guys take care. I'll see you on Friday. As always, go Bucks.